Welcome to the Digital Coffee Date, where inspiration pours into conversations that brew meaningful change. I'm your host, Jessica Rosado, television host, singer, and multimedia producer. And every month, I sit down with bold, brilliant women who are doing meaningful work and making a powerful global footprint. Around here, we talk about the real journey behind success, the messy beginnings, the big ideas, the pivots, and the major milestones. These women come from all walks of life and industries, but one thing they all have in common, they're not just leading the way, they're paving a path forward. So grab your coffee and join us as we dive into the stories that shape future legacies, spark remarkable change, and remind us of what's possible. Hello, gorgeous listeners. I've got a gorgeous woman in front of me right now and with me today for the Digital Coffee Date. I just want to have a moment, almost like maybe like that, like when you pause for just a moment of silence of the magnificent woman that is right next to me right now, Lindsay Feldman. She is the owner and founder of Brand Bomb PR. Lindsay, girl, how are you?
Thank you. What an intro. Oh my God. It's almost like you've done this before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the love is completely mutual.
I am so happy that in this new space, in this new season of the Digital Coffee Date, we are kicking things off, episode 2, with someone as impactful as you. I mean, you are just a boss woman. And I remember when we first connected, first of all, let me just say, usually when people reach out to me on IG and they're pitching me with something, I'm often like, here's my email, what's up? But I knew there was something about you when you first hit me up because it wasn't just a pitch. It was like, hey girl, what's up? Like we need to know each other.
Yeah,
but also I've got something for you may want to know about.
Exactly.
And it was so perfect. But when we got on the phone, we really, really connected. It was one of those like sparks fly when you have those instant connections with someone and you're like real recognizes real. Like we're in the same.
It felt like we just knew each other forever.
Yes. And it was beautiful. And I remember going, gosh, and just seeing, how you are with your business, how you are as a mom in your relationship. I mean, there's all these facets of your life that you are just thriving in. And it's wonderful to see. And it's wonderful to have someone like you in my circle and someone I consider a really good friend. So I want to really talk about you, talk about your story. I mean, you obviously, you have a PR company, but you come from a background of corporate PR. What was that shift for you when you said, all right, I'm done doing the corporate thing. It's time for me to bet on me. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So currently, I've been doing PR for 15 years. I'd say around the 10-year mark, which also aligns with everything that was happening with the pandemic. I just kind of looked at what was happening with everything shutting down and thought, you know what? If there was ever a time to take a risk, it's right now. If there's anything that I'm willing to bet on, it's always myself. I had a lot of experience. Originally, I started off working for an agency, and then I was in-house doing PR at the Palms. And then from there, I was recruited to go in-house at Crazy Horse 3, which was one of my old clients when I worked at that agency. And I had always had a client or two on the side. I'm like that East Coast hustler, always like, what more can I do? Who else can I work with? And then when everything shut down, I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect time to make my side hustle my main hustle. And in anything that I do, I really put my heart and soul into everything. And, we've been rocking ever since 2020.
Yeah. And it really shows. I mean, every time you mention a new client, I'm like, look at this woman go. It's wild. But the concept of, that mindset and that shift where you say, I want to bet on me and do this. I have it within me to do. I feel like something magical happens in that moment, but there's also this sense of the grit behind it. You didn't just bet on yourself. You also put a lot into practice to do it. It's not easy to build your own business. So what was that process like for you in building something from scratch?
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't go away. Even 5 years in, it's like I work now more than ever, but I feel I don't really look at the work that I do as work because I love what I do. And I think that's the most important part of especially going into business for yourself is don't look at the dollar signs, because if you actually really love what you do, it sounds cliche, but it's true. You're not going to feel like you're working and, the money will come. So for me, it was just about, having tunnel vision. I feel so blessed to do what I love every single day. I love PR because I love the challenge of, I never wanted to come into work and be like, I've done this a million times. I could do this in my sleep. The industry is always changing. There's always something new that's happening. My day is never the same. So it's just so easy to throw myself into it. And because I work so hard, I have such an insanely strong work ethic that I have to work for myself. There's no ceiling to what I can make or, what goals I can achieve, because I answer to myself.
Yeah. What was it about PR? We all have like our things. In episode 1, I kind of talked about my journey and all of the many hats I've worn over the years, and now being a television host and a singer, and now like my foodie content, there's all these things that now all make sense together. But what was it for you that you were like, that really drew you to public relations?
Initially, it was celebrity culture. I was always, the teenager that was like going crazy over the latest boy band. And I was always a really strong writer. And my mom had instilled in me at a young age, like, you should really consider PR. And then the more that I learned about it, I was like, oh, I love this. Like, I get to meet new people. I get to be exposed to different media outlets. I can incorporate my passion and love for like celebrity and just like all things lifestyle, and heavy emphasis on writing, because I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize with PR is they see all the glam things that you're doing, and they don't realize that 80% of what we're doing is the hustle and the grit that goes behind the scenes, and it's a lot of writing. It's communications. We're in the business of telling stories.
Yes, and you're in this really unique spot because you not only built your business, but I've been seeing even just in this last year. I mean, you're scaling, and it's one thing to like start a business or start an idea, and it's like, here it is, and it's just you, and everything is just on you. But to take it to the next level of like having a team behind you and everything else, I mean, that even in of itself is not easy. So how have you been navigating through that? And, I've been noticing too, you're building a team of powerful women. So what is that? Where does that come from? What has that journey been like for you?
Well, I thought I had everything figured out with business because I have worked with so many businesses over the 15 years that I've been doing this. And we know everything from the PR, the marketing side of things, of course, with social media. But what I didn't know until I got into business for myself was things like, hiring and firing, and the things that are just a lot more behind the scenes that you just, there's no guidebook, there's no playbook. You just learn as you go. And that's actually the hardest part of business is like, things like taxes and the things that are like so not glam, but so important. And for me, what I have learned along the way is that it is so important to build a good foundation, especially we are in a service-based business. So my employees are a direct reflection of me. So that starts from here down. Yes. So like leadership is so important. And yeah, I mean, I kind of started off as a solopreneur. For the first year, it was all by myself. And then I finally realized like, okay, there's only so much I can take this business as a solopreneur. Right. And I brought on my first employee, which, that was a little scary in itself because you never know, like if, how business will be, well, sometimes business is up, sometimes it's down. That's kind of like the thrill of being an entrepreneur. Like sometimes you got a lot of money, sometimes you have a little bit, but I wanted to always make sure that when I brought employees on, I always was able to pay them. Yeah. So I had used that first year to kind of scale everything up myself. I brought on my first employee. She was a superstar sponge, brought everything in. And then now within the last, I'd say like 8 months, we kind of went from her and I to now we have 3 additional employees. Wow. And I've learned along the way just how important that hiring process is. Yes. and the leadership process behind it. Yeah.
And it's so interesting too, because much like I feel like how we do in our personal lives with business, when you're talking about building a team, that can kind of transcend into how we operate our personal lives too. The team we have around us, the people we have around us, like it is so important to find, not just someone who has the right skills or maybe has that thing or that unique quality, but really, really can take your vision and like you said, be a reflection of yourself. So in a nutshell, because sometimes people just throw around PR like, oh, PR. In a nutshell, what is PR? How does it stand out, and how is it different or separate from, let's say, marketing, what we understand general marketing to be?
So that's a great question. So PR is basically the perception that the public has of your business. So what we do at Brand Mom PR is we specialize in generating earned media for our clients. So we're pitching online, print, broadcast, podcast, and radio to kind of always keep our clients front and center and controlling the messaging. So sometimes that's, talking about their ties to the community and creating events that give back to the community. Sometimes we're doing, celebrity red carpet events. Sometimes we're leveraging the authority of our founders. Like we work with Misha Moulton Law.
Yes.
Top powerhouse attorney in Las Vegas. We work with
shout out Misha.
Yeah,
hey,
shout out Misha, another female that is killing it,
Yes.
And we also work with a lot of doctors. So for the doctors, it's a lot of like leveraging their expertise, but these businesses hire us on to kind of control the narrative and their branding, full spectrum.
Yes.
So the difference between PR and marketing, what I like to say is PR brings the horse to water, but marketing is what makes them drink. So we generate visibility and we kind of craft that brand messaging. The marketing side of things are, the ads and the different campaigns that you run that directly correlate to, kind of like closing that revenue gap. So that could be things like your billboard campaign, what your campaigns look like for digital ads compared to PR is basically the earned media story in the magazine, and then like your advertising efforts is the ad. Yeah. So the thing that I always explain to people when they're speaking to us about PR is with PR, you don't have control over the messaging in terms of you're creating and you're riding the news cycle. With marketing, it's a little bit different because you paid for the placement, so you can kind of have more control over what the narrative is. But the difference is PR is someone else saying you're the best. Your advertising is you saying you're the best because it came from you.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And it's interesting because a lot of times I think when people usually hear PR, it's like, it's just for the celebrities. Like the celebrities have a PR team, the celebrities have, but when you're talking about it and the businesses that you have that have you as their PR person, I mean, that value of visibility, it's not just about that celebrity aspect. You're saying it's valuable no matter what industry you're in.
Yeah, exactly. Right? 1,000%. So the thing to remember is that perception can be created. So like, for example, if you are let's say you're an allergist, people always want to do their research and on what doctor is the best. And there's only so much that you can do from your own channel saying that you're the best. It's not holding as much weight when it's just coming from you. Yeah. Your PR team is coming in to leverage your authority. They're pitching you for awards. They're pitching your expertise so that you're, getting features on the news where you're talking about, spring pollen, and it kind of leverages your expertise. So it's we do work with celebrities quite a bit. And that's just to kind of get some of our clients who desire to be on the TMZs and the Us Weeklies and stuff like that and incorporate that into the marketing mix. But it is something that all brands should definitely invest in.
Yeah, it's super valuable. Now, we're talking about you as a business owner and just taking on a team in and of itself, but you're also a mom. And I feel like sometimes it's wild to me. I always say like women really are superheroes because when you're adding on all these other layers to what it is to be a female, it's a lot. And I want to know how you're navigating, because there's a lot of women out there that are struggling with the fact, like even with their business or being a mom, is it mom first, CEO second? Is it CEO first, mom second? And is it some ways certain times? And even for women like myself looking to expand family, that's sometimes even a scary feeling because you're like, well, do I have enough space to do this properly and also do all of these things that I'm so passionate about? Keep up with my music, keep up with my job, keep up with this. So do you have any insight into even how you're navigating and even lessons you might have learned through this?
Yeah, that's a great question and something that I feel really, really passionate about, because I feel like that has been my biggest struggle, because I want to be present in all areas of my life. And being a mom, I have 2 daughters, one is 9 and one is 4, is just, it really is what fills my cup and is so important to me. But now the nature of the PR business is that like, I don't leave work and like not have to check my emails. Like I am the mom that is constantly on my phone, getting calls at all hours of the night, checking emails. And like, you know, I used to believe that, you know, okay, at some point I'll find balance. But what I have grown to understand is that there is no balance. When you find me, you know, succeeding in one area of my life, there's another area where, you know, I'm not giving it my all. So I still haven't found that exact, you know, I would say like magic moment, but I really try to be as present as I can in all areas. Like I said, I'm, you know, my daughter is always telling me like, Mom, you're always on your phone. But what I'm hoping that they take from that is the work ethic that I'm putting into growing my business, and hoping that, you know, maybe there's things that I could be doing better, but I know that there's also a ton of things that I am instilling in my kids from them just seeing, you know, I have no business partners. I took out no loans, like, and it's really important for me to show my kids that like, no matter what direction you go in life, you create your own path.
Yeah. You know, I think to your point, you're really instilling, I mean, girl, are they going to learn work ethic? Like you would not believe
that part.
I mean, the just to know that. I mean, I often say I got my work ethic from my parents, so I'm a firm believer in that. And you're instilling these such important skills that they're going to look at and be like, "Wow, my mom was a true badass." Like, let's be real, which is wonderful.
Thank you.
So you're like Kris Jenner would say, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Yeah. I like, it's just something, like I said, that I've always struggled with. But I feel like in every situation, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And for me, the good is showing my kids, you know, you don't need a man to support you. You know, I don't want them to just live off of their looks because your looks go away one day. Like I just wanted to instill in them at a very young age, you know, what you put in life is what you're going to get out of it. So yeah, sometimes I may not be able to like read the 8 p.m. bedtime story and that kind of thing, but I do really prioritize and make myself count with the time that we do have together. Yeah,
definitely. Now it kind of that sort of segues into another theme that I feel like, you know, we've talked about and have sidebarred on, where that idea that we all want so many different things. And it's not that they're all attainable, and it's not that you can't have it all. You can have it all, but it may just not be right now or all at once.
Exactly. You can have it all, but it's not going to be at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't have everything at the same time, but that doesn't mean that you have to give up on one area of your life for the other. It just means sometimes there's a shift in priority at each different moment.
That is such a powerful thing, because I feel like I too have been feeling that and seeing that in my own life. You know, I took a hiatus 11 and a half years from singing, where I didn't use my voice. I didn't sing. I didn't perform. And when I started back up again, it was just like this beautiful outpouring of like, oh my God, I was always meant to do this. But I do think during that time of not singing, it wasn't like I ever just gave up completely and thought I would never sing again. But I will say that it was really, really tricky. And it felt like, you know, where were the opportunities or what was happening? And now I'm in a place where the opportunities are coming. So, you know, I am having that music. I am having that era in my life of song. It just, you know, didn't look like it when I thought maybe I was supposed to have it.
Yeah. And that stems back to you chasing your passion. Like that is where what's in your heart and soul, you know?
Yeah, no, it's 100%. And you know, while we're talking about all of these different themes and these different ways of like just being a woman and how there's so much in it, I want to kind of go back to when we were talking about how you've been building your team. You're building some powerful women on your team. What does sisterhood mean to you? Not just in the workplace, but even in your life?
Well, sisterhood to me is just being genuine and showing up for the people that you need to show up for. So in the business that I'm creating, you know, I hear different things about like when you're running your business, like not to kind of blur the lines with employees in terms of like becoming close knit like a family.
Right.
But to me, I can only be myself. And like, I treat all of my employees like as if they were my own kids. Like I genuinely care about them. I care about their life outside of work. Like, it's really important to me to just seeing them thrive, not only professionally, but personally as well. And I feel like it kind of really just stems down to who you are as a person. I also feel like happy employees will better serve your customers and will stay with your company. That's again why it's so important to like really do your due diligence when you're hiring, because there's certain traits that just cannot be taught. Like I can teach you our strategies, I can teach you what we do, but I can't teach you how to care about your employer. I can't teach you how to care about our clients. So, and like even with my friends, like my best friend, we have been friends since we were 2 years old in preschool. Like,
oh my goodness.
I keep relationships with people, and I really I connect with a lot of people because I just, I care about people, and I'm always the first person, if I can do something for somebody without expecting anything in return, like I love to serve others. So I just feel like it all just stems back to just being a genuine, solid, good person.
You are that person. And,
thank you.
And I've been on the receiving end of having a friend like you, which is just so wonderful. And I'm so thankful for it. It kind of reminded me, even talking about with, sisterhood and these types of people that you want around you and all those kinds of things. I mean, the concept of like choosing collaboration over competition. I mean, you're in a competitive space. I mean, you're not just the only PR company in Las Vegas. You're in a competitive space, but you, I feel like, are someone who I even see on the outside looking into an industry that I'm not fully in, where I'm a PR person. But I feel like you take that to truly be real. Like you have a collaborative spirit over competition. And I feel like that's also part of what breeds to your success.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand people in business that feel so threatened and are always watching their competitor. Like there is room for everyone to flourish and grow. And in the PR space, especially in Las Vegas, there's just no shortage of clients. There's no shortage of things that are coming here. So, I mean, if a client comes to me and I don't feel like I'm the right fit for them, or I think there's somebody that's better aligned, I always make those introductions. And I've been just as fortunate to have other PR teams make those introductions to me as well. Like I really just believe in the spirit of collaboration and that we can all win, and, figuring out how I can help you and how the next person can help us, and just growing together. Yeah.
And in this space of an industry where so much is happening so fast and you've got to be on all the time, is there anything that you feel keeps you grounded or inspired when those moments of feeling a little bit overwhelmed might come?
I like to set small milestones for myself. Whenever I get particularly overwhelmed, like usually when I'm coming off of like a massive client project, I will book an appointment at the spa, and like with the exception of you, because we just went to the spa a few weeks ago.
Yes, we did. We had so much fun.
We did. It was the best time ever. I like to go alone and like listen to podcasts and read books, because it's kind of like the time when I get to be by myself in my own thoughts and kind of come down off of just chaos.
Yes.
Because I feel like my life is always in a constant state of just all over the place. So taking the time, for me, self-care looks like, a spa day at Red Rock for 5 hours where it's just like peace and quiet with me and myself. And then, with PR, it's very important that I can remain creative. Also, something that really helps me is like writing things down. I just have a million thoughts in my head at any given time. So for me, what really helps is like writing. I always have a to-do list, my follow-ups, things to do. And that way I can like, okay, this is a problem for Lindsay in a week from now, not today. So I can just kind of check that off the box. But also like really, again, like setting small goals for myself, and then just my family. My family is the reason why I do everything that I do.
Yeah. For anyone, since we're talking about PR and you are just so incredible at it, is there maybe one simple PR move that maybe a business owner listening to this right now might make this month that they can make just even on their own before reaching out to someone like yourself?
Well, I would say, and it sounds so 101, but I find this a lot, that people forget to like constantly check their website, check their Google business, their Yelp, and so many things will be out of date. So before you invest in PR, first of all, you want to take a look at your own channels, and you want to make sure that everything is optimized. Are your hours correct? What does your about section say? Is your founder listed? Like, are your awards up to date? Is your menu correct? Because the whole point of PR is to send people to your channels and to your business, and if everything is not aligned properly, then you're missing the mark.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful advice. Now, before we go, I close out each episode with two different things. The first one is called Passing the Cup. So if you could leave behind one thing, it could be an idea, a value, or a shift in thinking for the next generation. And when you're thinking about this response, also thinking about that legacy that you want to leave behind, what would that be? And how are you passing the cup?
So not to go on a Kim K rant, everybody knows her famous, like, nobody wants to work speech.
Yeah.
But swear to God that I really feel like you need to put your hustle and heart into everything that you do. I think if you're trying to grow within your field, you need to be ready to just work hard, stay late, stay on top of all of your work, speak with your boss or find a mentor and figure out, ask questions. From my experience with my own company and other people around me, I do surround myself with like a big panel of other business owners. A lot of this new generation just, I get it. People want to have the flexibility of working from home and like unlimited vacation and things like that. But I think it's really important that if you are trying to climb the ladder, throw yourself into work in your 20s before you have a family, before you have a husband, when you really have the time to dedicate that. So then later in life, when you do settle down, you're in a more executive level in your industry so that you've earned that,
Yeah.
So I would just say like, hustle.
And what legacy do you want to leave behind in that? Is that when we're talking about passing that cup to the next generation, what are you leaving behind?
I think I'm leaving behind just like being a good person in business, just doing good business. And sometimes that means turning clients down when you can't serve them. Sometimes that means keeping it real. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But I think that, being a person of integrity is really, really important in every area of your life. And people talk. And so, if you're not a good person or you're screwing people over or you're taking people's money, like it's going to catch up with you.
It's going to come out.
Yeah,
that's right.
Is.
Well, we are down to our final sip. So without bumping the microphone here, let's take our final sip. We're going to do a little slurpsies.
Hit the spot.
That feels good.
Yes.
So for the final sip, Lindsay, what's one piece of advice, that one takeaway that it could be, again, advice or a personal truth of yours that you want to offer to a woman who's listening right now?
That's a great question. I would say, I feel like it's really easy to have imposter syndrome, or it's really easy to scroll Instagram and feel like you're not doing enough, or you're falling short in certain areas of your life, but just keep going. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like I said, you can have it all. It won't be at the same time, but just don't lose sight of your goals. If being a mom is important to you, you don't have to choose between a career and being a mom. You can do it all. But that's kind of goes back to what I was just saying. And the best piece of advice I can say to a younger person is set yourself up so when you do make those decisions in life to have a family, to settle down, you're in a better situation where that's your reality. You're still trying to climb the ladder. And, when you're young, like you want to be able to network and move around and meet as many people. And, so yeah, just like set yourself up and don't beat yourself up. And if you're having a bad day, go in the shower and cry and be a big girl when you get out of it and just keep going.
Or go axe throwing.
Okay. I have not done that.
I haven't either. Can we do that?
How does one axe throw with nails like ours?
I'm telling you, we need a moment for the nails. Can we make sure that these nails are on? That we need a nail cam. We need a nail cam.
We
here.
do.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining me. And this is such an exciting time. Season 3.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're coming out with such a bang. And I'm so excited that you're on this journey with me.
Thank you. I feel honored. And if anyone is interested in learning more, please hit us up. brandbombpr.com, brandbombpr on Instagram, Lindsay with an A and an _ Feldman on Instagram. I would love to chat with everybody.
She has amazing content, so definitely check it out. Also, be sure to visit thedigitalcoffeedate.com to keep up with anything that we have going on. We do send out a newsletter, and as I've said, you want to make sure that you download that app, The Digital Coffee Date, where we go and have conversations beyond the conversation. So I'll see you there.